getting bigger. See?
Oh, honey, that's wonderful.
Kicking like crazy.
He's listening. Put your hand on your tummy and hum to him. You used to love that.
It feels like he's dancing in there.
Oh, honey.
Mom, would you tell Charlie that bedtime story you always used to tell me?
Once upon a time, there was a baby unicorn who didn't know he knew how to fly. This baby unicorn was like your mom because she didn't know that she knew how to fly, but she knew how to do all kinds of fabulous things.
Hi, Grandma.
Hey, Charlie. How was school today?
It was really fun. I made this crazy shot in basketball.
I don't really care that much about basketball. What about the crush?
Stop. Grandma, stop talking.
Just tell me one thing.
Look who's gonna be a great grandmother.
Oh, Charlie. Oh, congratulations.
She says that he's been kicking a lot, though. Like, a little too much.
Tell her to put her hand on her tummy and hum to him. You loved that.
You would have loved this moment.
You can call anytime.
Okay, Mom, I just need a quick video.
Is this like an audition or something?
No, Mom. Just 3 minutes.
You need my best side?
Can I sing another one?
I can play the piano.
She's so talented.
I am. I'm your mother after all.
Keep going. Why don't you start by telling us a little bit about yourself? I would hope so.
Well, that may be the creepiest thing I've seen all week. I can't believe they've already rolled something like this out, and I get the temptation to do something like this. Anyone would certainly want a way to communicate with a loved one after they've passed, but this just seems like a horrible idea. This is going to keep people from being able to move on. And if I passed away, I certainly wouldn't want my wife and kids getting advice from some AI that just happens to look like me. An AI that could literally say anything to them. Yet it has my face attached to it, making it easier for it to manipulate everybody. Just imagine if this existed back in 2020 and Grandma tells Charlie's mom, "Go ahead, you know it's safe. They test this stuff before rolling it out. You don't want to lose him, do you?" This is literally people signing up to use AI for emotional manipulation.
The meme 6'7" is demonic, and just hear me out.
6'7", a meme kids can't get enough of and teachers can't get away from.
We are not saying the word 6'7" anymore.
Some schools even banning the phrase in classrooms.
You are no longer allowed to say, what number do you think I'm gonna say?
6'7".
I feel like an unk just making this video, but I know a lot of unks are following me, so let me explain. 6'7" is probably the most viral meme in the world right now. It was actually named Word of the Year by Dictionary.com, and it really has no meaning, but it originated from a rap song by a guy named Skrilla, and this guy is one of the most demonic artists I have ever seen in my entire life. He claims he sacrifices animals and can't really explain why.
All that sacrificing goats and all that, that's not just for like, that's just real life. You sacrifice a goat. You sacrifice goats, chickens, mice. Like, I do for certain, though, like, I'm not allowed to explain it.
Claims he speaks to spirits and he can cast these spirits onto people.
You talked to a spirit before?
Yeah, like, for example, I talked to Agun. Agun, he's one of the Orishas. He's the owner of metal. So like, but I talk about it in my music though. Like, put bad spirits on people. Like, you could put a person's name. You could put them inside the Agun pot. And like, you basically sending Agun like metal, like they can get shot, stabbed, something could happen to him.
So he has an album called Underworld, and all of the titles are named after spirits of Santeria, and in the music videos you can see how dark the symbolism is. Also a YouTube video, and he talks about his religion and he shows you all of the gods that they talk to.
So he can show y'all something with my religion.
This is the person who you come talk to when everything is going down and you feel like you're stuck between a room where there's no way out. You know, that's a goon.
Right there's a goon.
The next one is Ochosi. He's the hunter of the religion. This is Ochu Odudua.
Look, I'm not saying you're demonic if you say this meme or if your kids say this meme, but the more I look into this guy, the more I think that this really is just some type of chant.
I thought this meme originated from some basketball player talking about how tall he was or something. I've searched and searched though, and while I've actually been told by multiple people that they've seen the source video where the guy's giving an interview and says that he's 6'7", I couldn't find it anywhere. And I would say I'm at least slightly above average at trying to track down online video content, but I'm fully convinced at this point that it did originate from this Skrilla song called Doot Doot. Here are the lyrics from the song. A lot of it doesn't really seem to make any sense at all. The guy just sounds like your typical mumble rapper to me. But from some of the explanations I've heard, one claim explains that 6 represents Ogun, the Orisha of iron, war, and labor. They claim the 7 represents Yamaya, the mother of all Orisha and goddess of the sea. So they claim that 6'7" might symbolize invoking both of those spirits. But using context clues, it may be in reference to a police radio code. And I'm speaking specifically about the code 1067, which stands for, apparently, dead body. And that's just due to the violent imagery in the song. Personally, I'm leaning toward that. While this Skrilla guy is openly into practicing Santeria, I think this is just another example of an artist who has zero talent, who's being used to intentionally push this lust for violence into the black youth of America. And I'm all for freedom of speech, but these record companies ought to be ashamed of themselves. It's become blatantly obvious at this point that that's what they're doing, and that's why they prop these people up. Hey, don't forget to hit like and subscribe if you haven't already, and don't forget to drop your theories and your comments in the comment section down below.
All the women and teens out there that take Ubers and taxis everywhere just was made aware of a new danger that's going on. You might want to listen up. So one of the new things now they're doing is as soon as you get in the vehicle, they will try to offer you a water. And a lot of times what they've done is they have taken a needle and they have injected the bottle with just a little bit of fentanyl or whatever it is they decide to use to try to make you lethargic or knock you out of some type. So due to this fact, I would advise you that when you get into a vehicle of any type that is not your own vehicle and that you don't know the person that you're getting in, do not take any food or any drink that they offer you, because right now, nowadays, it's just not safe, and you don't know if they've laced it with something. And again, they can put it in with a needle. A lot of times now what they're saying is to be able to test it, and if somebody gives you want to take the water, I wouldn't, but if you did, squeeze the bottle. If water starts leaking out of it, that's a sure sign that they've already laced it with something. So my best advice is, ladies and teens, if you're getting into a vehicle and you don't know the person that is behind that wheel, do not take any food or drink from them. Anyway, this is my best advice, and I hope y'all take care and stay safe out there.
I just try to pass along any of these warnings whenever I come across them. It is kind of nuts when you think about that it's become acceptable to just take a beverage from a stranger because y'all connected through some app on the internet, especially considering that women having their drinks laced is one of the oldest tricks in the book. I'm surprised this hasn't been a problem since day one of Uber and Lyft. And now all of these companies are relaxing their hiring restrictions because they're politically motivated and want to support immigration. And I'm not saying that that's the case with Uber specifically, because I don't know. But that is a big enough problem in this country currently that no one should be using these rideshare apps at all anymore. Even if you aren't going to take a drink from a stranger, you still don't know who you're getting in the car with.
What's going on, and what's your timeline? Do you think in our lifetimes we're going to see some kind of catastrophic event?
I would be surprised if we didn't. I had put our chances of seeing such a catastrophic event because of this pole shift at only around 25% during this sunspot cycle. Sunspot cycles are 11 years long. We are at the peak of one right now. It's going to go down in about 5 years and then come back up in 5 more. In maybe a little less than a decade, we're going to be seeing the next peak of solar activity. That's when I'm worried, because Earth's magnetic field is steadily doing this. And while it's enough for us to see the signs, and it was enough for me 6-7 years ago to say, hey guys, when the sun wakes up, we're going to be seeing signs every time it throws something at us. I still think we're going to make it through, but it's going to be blatantly obvious that something's not right. That is where we are right now, and I'm my forecast for 10 years from now hasn't changed.
We definitely desperately need it. The internet is frying people's brains, social media. Let's get back to farming, taking care of animals, living simple lives. I'm half kidding. The death and destruction from the big one will be, I mean, do you think about this stuff? Obviously, you're tracking solar, weather, and the pole shift stuff. But have you actually sat down and gone over how many people would die if the power went out?
Yes, absolutely. I think that the U.S. government's analysis from about a decade ago is not terrible. They said within about 6 months, 90% of humans would be gone.
Whoa!
I think that that's pretty accurate, and it's because of our reliance on heat in cool places. We require technology and electricity to purify water and to distribute water to homes. Agriculture, the refrigeration of food, transportation, information, the internet, there's not nuclear plants. Imagine what happens when all the cooling at every nuclear plant in the world fails.
Woo!
That's what we're looking at right here.
Well, that doesn't sound good. Maybe this is the reason all these elites are building bunkers underground. Maybe they've all had a heads up on some massive solar event that's going to take place and set us back several hundred years. I'll tell you what, though, if this were the case, if they really thought something like this was coming, would they really be trying to digitize everything? Would they still be dumping all of their money into these AI-based surveillance systems? I can't help but to be suspicious that this is just a psyop. And think about this. Our magnetic field is not just going to suddenly get stronger. So if this happens once, it'll likely become a regularly occurring event. Everything's degrading. It's just getting worse and worse over time. If something like this were to happen, there probably wouldn't even be any point in trying to rebuild. By the time we hit the peak in the next cycle, Earth's magnetic field is going to be even weaker than it was during the first event. This would probably literally be the start of the end of the world. Taking that into consideration, I really have a hard time believing that this is anything other than just something they threw out there to rile up the conspiracy theorists. Or maybe that's just wishful thinking. I don't know. What do y'all think?
But essentially, you're sitting there listening to the fact that we as a country are essentially poisoning our children as we speak. And rather than talk about how we stop this, they went and did a whole series of different snippy and snide comments. And you think the woman who wrote this for the New York Times is a mother. How could a mother do this? Anyway, one of the things they pointed out, so it's Cheryl Gay Stolberg, and one of the things she said was that I had been loose with my facts because Bill Gates, I had implied that Bill Gates wants to put a tattoo under your skin. So I went back and went through all the different links of the articles covering Bill Gates talking about the tattoos. And basically this is a technology that can be on the skin or beneath the skin, and it refers to both. And it's quite, calling me incorrect for the facts is just, well, one, it's irrelevant, two, it's not important, but three, if you look at all the links we'll put up, I'm clearly correct. Although, a tattoo can be both under the skin and on the skin. And the key point, though, is that you literally are watching technologists try to replace carrying surveillance device called smartphones and now basically tattoo your or mark your body, and Christians call this the mark of the beast. The other thing they implied was that Gates is no longer critical to Microsoft, which is ridiculous. If you look at how much stock he and his company owns, we're talking about tens of billions of dollars of investment. And if you know anything about the corporate world, an investor who commands that much of the brand and that much owns that much of the stock is unbelievably powerful in a company. And so to imply went off the board in 2020 has no clout at Microsoft, for anybody who knows anything about money or finance, is totally ridiculous. And yet, they had the temerity to do it. Anyway, so it was such a perfect example of trying to create issues out of nothing, to be snide and irrelevant, when in fact you bury the lead, which is our children are being poisoned right now, and we need to stop it. And I just thought, if you still subscribe to the New York Times, why? Why are you supporting this?
I keep waiting for them to roll this out. I'm kind of wondering if the reason that they've allowed so much bad press to spread here recently in regards to our current method for fighting off these diseases that we've been using since the 1950s. Maybe that's so enough people will want to walk away from using that method. And just like they typically do, they create a problem and then they come out of nowhere with this grand solution that's supposed to fix everything. Like, okay, we can't recommend XYZ anymore. It's no longer safe. But don't worry, we've created this new technology that'll make all that irrelevant anyways. Problem solved. Just get this chip in the back of your hand. I tell you what though, if they want to successfully manipulate the masses into buying any of this, they really should have done a better job at hiding Bill Gates' involvement. Anything that guy touches is immediately looked at sideways. And for good reason. I just think they're so arrogant that they don't really care that we're all fully aware of how shady this is. If they get their way, we'll be under their total control anyway, so we'll have to just shut up and comply regardless.
Independent journalist Michael Schellenberger has been digging into the digital ID issue. He just released a lengthy piece on this on his Substack called Public. He joins us now with his thoughts. Michael, look, the argument is it's like it'll help thwart illegal immigration, ID fraud, streamline healthcare services. Sounds fantastic. What the heck's the problem?
Right. Hey, great to be with you, Laura. Yeah, I mean, another conspiracy theory that has started coming true. I mean, we saw this announcement in September. It took everybody by surprise. The World Economic Forum had been pushing digital IDs, the United Nations, the European Union, Britain. Of course, the really terrifying example is China, which uses digital IDs and a social credit score to control speech and to control what people think and say online. I mean, it could come in a lot of different ways. They'll start voluntary, then they'll make it mandatory. They'll have rewards, and then they'll have punishments. It's quite terrifying. And when you just listen to what the advocates for digital IDs say, it's terrifying. And, Laura, one thing I learned from this last round of investigations is that this is a huge cybersecurity threat. The idea that, imagine if you get hacked in one of the many websites that you log into. Imagine everything suddenly being hacked because it's all centralized in a single place. That cybersecurity threat alone ought to be enough to kill the digital ID. But again, this is potentially digital totalitarianism.
In 2012, there was the Flashback Trojan event that infected over 600,000 Mac computers. In 2014, there was that major iCloud celebrity photo leak where hackers gained access to celebrities' nude photos. In 2015, there was the Xcode Ghost incident that affected millions of users before they even detected it. In 2017, macOS 10.13 had a bug that allowed anyone to log in as root without a password. In 2019, Google's Project Zero uncovered a years-long hacking operation where China was surveying users visiting specific websites. In 2021, there was the zero-click iMessage exploit that allowed remote installation of spyware on iPhones. There was active exploitation allowing arbitrary code execution on iPhones and Macs in 2022. And although they won't give us exact numbers on whether there was a full data breach, there were multiple actively exploited security flaws they had to go back and patch in 2023 for both macOS Ventura and iOS 16. And that's just the stuff that was so bad they had to come out and address it publicly. Who knows what's happened that they haven't admitted to? Do you really want to trust Apple with an app on your phone that contains every single bit of your data? I know I don't.
Notified and told that SCOTUS has been shut down. The Supreme Court is dissolved. It has not been in power, that there's a lot of things in the background you don't know about. Everybody thought I was crazy in 2020. I was correct then when that ship appeared above me in the sky. And I tried to tell my wife then, and she went all berserko and went crazy and took off. Told me that I was out of my mind. I needed wellness checks. Yeah, well, that's all coming to fruition now. And everything I told you, by middle November, you're going to see things that are beyond your belief. I just caught wind of the military's intent. They're taking my scalar technology and they've advanced it. And they've got a weapon they made with it. And they are going to shoot the cabal's worldwide network, the Illuminati, and the Skull and Bull network And they're going to take their communication systems that they have underneath the communication systems that you don't know they have, but they have a communication system where they can contact throughout the world. The military is going to hit it with my scalar technology, and they're going to fry all their communications and shut the Cabal, the Illuminati, Skull and Bones, and they're going to shut them all down. The Masons, all of it. They're silencing them. And they broke their communications, and they're going to round them up, and they're going to take them to Gitmo, or one of the 5 facilities that's an extension of Gitmo, and they're going to hang them all. And what's coming, which will be announced by Thanksgiving, from what I understand, by around November 22nd, leading up into December 1st, I told you a couple of years ago, get ready, folks. Your world is about to become magical. You cannot believe what Cupid opened up the door to and what they've done with this technology. You cannot believe what's about to come. You cannot fathom it in your mind. Many of you will probably overload from the shock of everything. Mental. You won't be able to handle what's about to come. You can call me crazy. You can deny it. You can bark out your snout. I don't care. I'm just trying to ease you into what's about to come. We're taking down the Illuminati. We're taking down the Skull and Bone. We've already shut down SCOTUS. We are no longer tolerating this evil on this planet. We're going to with Scalar. We're going to shut their down. We're going to round their up. And they're going to Gitmo. Just be ready, because this is all poised to happen. It's already in the works.
As wonderful as that sounds, I find it very hard to believe that if they really had a plan like this that they were fixing to actually act on, that they would allow this guy anywhere near anyone who had information on how that plan was going to be executed. A guy who immediately jumps on the internet and starts exposing the entire operation. Again, this would be nice, but I just can't buy into it. Just imagine if this were true and you were one of the few people in the know. Would you be making TikToks about it? Risking the elite being tipped off and then coming up with some plan to foil the whole thing? Of course not. This guy has to either be making this up or he's getting his information from an unreliable source and somebody's just feeding him a bunch of baloney. But I felt like I needed to address this one because I've had several people reference it and point me toward it as if they think that salvation is right around the corner. But I just find it too hard to believe that there's going to be some grand plan to stop the elites like this. Not to mention, I heard a very similar thing being talked about right before the inauguration of Joe Biden. Personally, I think this is just disinformation that's specifically put out there, probably by the elites, because they know that there are some crazies out there who are looking for a reason to take action, and they're just trying to get them to sit on their hands for a little bit so that they can finish getting all the control mechanisms in place and these people won't act on what they're thinking about doing. But guys and gals, I'm going to go ahead and end the video right there. I hope you enjoyed these clips we watched together today. God willing, I'll be back on Monday with another video. I hope you come back to join me. Don't forget to leave a like and subscribe if you haven't already, and don't forget to drop your theories and your comments in the comment section down below. But guys and gals, I hope everyone has a great, safe, fantastic rest of your day, a phenomenal weekend, and I will see you all on Monday.